like the end for you, or at least the end of like phase one for you? Some people will say there's no such thing as an end. So like, what is your ultimate goal in your mind right now? Okay, write it in the comments, sink it in your head. I want you to know what that is. Okay, the ultimate like dream fantasy that you would just be like so over the moon excited for. So think of that. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, first thing I want to mention in regards to your goal, that ultimate kind of fantasy we want to achieve, is you have to fail your way there, right? We know this. I say this very, very often, but you have to fail your way to your goal, right? That's the best way to put it. You got to fail your way all the way there. Now, there's not one person that I know directly or indirectly that the failures weren't the cause of their success. There's not one person that I've ever come across that the failures aren't the sole thing almost that accelerated their success. How cool is that? So whoever you look up to, whether it's, Beyonce, Madonna, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, like whoever's that influence for you, maybe it's somebody in you're close to, right? Like whoever is kind of your example for where you want to get to in specific areas, they failed their way there, whether they admit it or not. So that's kind of important to kind of get out of the way, be in that mindset for the preface of this call. Now, Brooke Castillo, she's a life coach, and she said this really cool analogy that I want to use. And she said, our goals are like the prize at the bottom of a cereal box. You guys remember when there were prizes at the bottom of a cereal box? I don't know if they still do that. But I remember asking my mom to go buy me like specific brands of cereal, just so I could get the prize at the bottom of them, right? And so what would happen? She would get it. She would bring it home. I would be super excited. I'd tell her to, dump out all the cereal and give me that prize, right? And what ended up happening was, after a couple days, that prize was no longer important to me. I moved on to the next shiny, new, cooler toy that caught my attention. Now, why was I able to do that so fast when I was so excited and obsessed with the toy in the first place? Well, it's kind of the same as this ultimate goal that you're thinking of, right? If you're buying the cereal box and you're dumping the cereal box out right away to your prize, it's not going to mean as much. It's not going to be worth it. And you're not going to get the satisfaction you think you're going to get from it, right? It's making it through the box of cereal. It's in anticipation every morning, pouring your bowl of cereal, waiting for it to fall out. Is this the day? Is this the day? Is this the day? Right? But what we do with our goals is we go straight for the prize. We skip going through the box of cereal and we go straight to the prize. And that becomes an issue because you can try, or you cannot try and not hit your goal, or you can try and still not hit your goal, right? That's kind of the only two options, because nothing is guaranteed. So don't try and don't reach your goal, or try and don't reach your goal. Those are the two very firm possibilities, right? The other thing of reaching your goal comes with hard work and dedication. So if you are rushing to this prize at the bottom of the cereal box, what you're missing out on is this. And the truth is, you will never be where you want to be until you are there, until the second you get there. You will never be where you want to be until you're there, until you're right there. And then guess what you're going to feel in that moment? Exactly what you feel right now, of still wanting to get somewhere. So the problem becomes, most people cannot handle trying after they've been beaten up, right? In the beginning, we haven't been beaten up, so you can keep trying new things. We can have a couple slip-ups, we can keep trying after those. But when you have had the crap beat out of you, it is very hard to want to get back up and keep trying, right? We all know this. from personal experience, whether that experience won or you persevered. Irrelevant. Most people will stay mediocre and never reach unusual and extraordinary success because they don't try after they've been beaten up. Okay? Now, this is important because why don't we do this? Like, why is this so common? Because we have been conditioned to work for an A+, right? We've been conditioned to say, you know, here's the material. If you study this, you're going to get an A+, right? If you just learn this, A+, right? But here's my question for you ladies. If I said, go back to grade 12 and take your history test, take your history exam, would you pass it? Or would it look like a different language? It probably looked like a different language. Now, why is that? Because you studied, you trained, you conditioned yourself to work for an A+. And there was nothing after that. You didn't think, okay, how do I keep that A+? How do I make sure I don't lose that knowledge? What if I want to have an A+ 3 years from now? How can I keep it up? How can I keep that grade? Right? We never did that. So your goal in your mind, that ultimate dream, that's the ultimate A+ in your mind. That's what you've equated it to. That would be the ultimate A+ for you. And there's nothing wrong with calling it an A+, right? But here's the issue. Every A+ that you've learned and you've earned so far, you didn't earn the right way. Every A+ you got, or almost all of them, you got them the wrong way. So you are trying to get this new ultimate A+ in the same way you got all the other A+ in your life, right? Because that's what we know. That's what we're conditioned for. We're trying to rush to the bottom of the prize, of the box to get the prize, right? We're trying to just cram our studying in to get that mark so we can at least pass and move on to the next thing. So your ultimate A+, the way in which you have been achieving them in the past, is the very reason you haven't been able to keep them. And is the very thing that will be preventing you from getting the ultimate A+ in your eyes. Because until you are there, you will never be there. Until the moment you reach it, you will not be there. Are you going to endure being beaten up and keep trying even after that? Because until then, all of this space between then, you have all these experiences, feelings, emotions, thoughts, behaviors, habits, maybe even trauma from now until then, right? You have all of this stuff happening to you, and you have to sail through it to get to your ultimate A+. Because real life is all about tests. We've all been tested by the universe and by life before, right? Life is all about tests. But it's pretty irrelevant what your grade on those tests are. It's pretty irrelevant. What matters is how many tests are you taking and how quick are you taking them one after another. Instead of letting it discourage you and dropping out altogether. Altogether, because all of this stuff is going to happen before you get there. And when you get there, your brain is so smart. Our brain is built to evolve. Right before we get to where we want to be, we've already thought of the next thing, which is absolutely crazy. And there was a study done on lottery winners. There's a study done on lottery winners. And don't quote me on the time frame here, but they interviewed these lottery winners, and a very short period of time after they won the lottery, let's say a year or two, they measured their level of happiness, and they all said they were the exact same level of happiness after the lottery as they were before the lottery. As soon as that prize in the box wore off. They're the exact same thing, and they won the lottery. That's everybody's freaking dream, right? If only you could win the lottery. They were the exact same level of happiness, even after one of the most sought after goals, experiences that everybody wants. And it was because they were given the prize. Do you guys see that? They were given the prize at the bottom of the cereal box. So I don't want you to miss out on the anticipation, on the suspense, on the excitement of pouring a bowl of cereal every day. Is today the day? What's going to happen today? I don't know what today's going to bring. That's so important, because until you reach your goal, you will never be there. It will just be cereal coming out. So you better find a way to enjoy that and appreciate that, because where you are now, where you are right now, wasn't this a goal of yours in the past? Didn't you want to get here? The past you wanted to be here in some shape or form, whether a new habit, a strength level, a new mindset shift. You wanted to be here in the past. This was a goal, but you forgot that. You didn't realize it. We blew right past it and already made our next goal, right? That's the way your brain works. You wanted to be here at one point. Maybe this was your ultimate goal at one point, or pretty close to. And guess how you're feeling about where you're at? It ain't good enough, right? I can do more. I want more. Because we think that this journey is about arriving somewhere. We want to arrive somewhere, right? Because there is better than here, right? Let's boil that down. The reason we even have goals is because having achieved those goals is better than here, right? You've equated it for some reason to being better. That is better. That is more desirable. I'm more happy there. I feel more sexy there. Whatever it is, this arrival to this place in your mind is better than here. Now, this is crazy. So what do you think? So somebody who's lost just 10 pounds, how do you think they feel about just the 10 pounds? Not good enough. I want more, right? What do you think about somebody who's lost 50 pounds? How do you think they feel? Not good enough. I want more. And what do you think about the person who has lost 100 pounds? Not good enough. I want more. Every time. All the people who are below you in your progress are feeling the way you feel. Every person that you think is ahead of you in your progress feels the exact same way you feel. So when you get there, you will feel the exact same. You will not feel like you have fantasized it to make you feel. You will be feeling the exact same. And there's excitement in that, right? Because what you can realize is, there's no difference from somebody who's lost 10 pounds to 50 pounds. So it's totally doable. If they can do it, I can do it. So there's excitement in that thought. But there's also a little bit of discouragement and disappointment in that thought, right? You're telling me my hope is gone, right? The hope was this feeling I was working for, right? That things would change. So yeah, I'm kind of telling you your hope is gone because nothing will technically change. But more importantly, what I want to tell you is you will feel this way no matter where on this line of your journey you land. No matter where, you will feel the same. So instead of waiting for this thing to happen or waiting to feel this way or waiting for your feelings to change, you have to start to create that in this moment. In this moment. Who did you think you were going to be at that ultimate goal? I guarantee you will feel the same. Our brains are built to hardwire and tell us what's next and evolve and adapt and push. So right before you've even reached that ultimate goal, your brain has already pushed its boundaries to the next. You will always be wanting 1 step, 2 steps, 10 steps ahead. Does anybody else realize that yet? You will never be happy, even if you think you will be. Even if you've gone through that process so many times, you're just about like, this is it. It's almost there. Nope. Not even then. Not even then. Your brain will always be 1, 5, 10, 100 steps ahead. And if we wait for X, before we even reach X, our brain has said we want Y. We will always be one step behind in achieving what our brain tells us we want. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more, and there's nothing wrong with changing your goals and pushing them as you get closer to them and reaching them. And in fact, that's what you have to do. That's what makes this thing so rewarding, so hard, but so rewarding, because we keep pushing and we keep pushing the boundaries of what we think we're even capable of. That's a conversation I have with most of my clients. It's, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm here. Because they pushed past the limit they already set for themselves. Now they're in new territory that they don't know how to cope with. Mental, physical, whatever that push, that limit was, they make it past these limits. So just to summarize here, ladies, you have to fail on your way to that ultimate goal. If you try to get to the prize first, you try to get to the goal first, it will never be as satisfying as you think, as transformative, as life-changing as you think. You will be sadly disappointed, devastatingly disappointed. And you will never be there until you are there. And let me tell you, once you are there, you're already thinking of where you're going to be next. So you might as well start to create that fantasy with where you are right now in the moment. Exhale. We think when we arrive to this place, we can finally, I made it, right? Isn't that kind of the goal we're going for? Isn't that kind of what you pictured yourself doing? Like just, I did it, relaxing. You will never feel that way. That exhale, I've been chasing it. I've been chasing it. And every time I never notice it in the moment. I never noticed that was my ultimate goal when I pass it, because I'm so focused on the next one already. So I have to look back and say, oh shoot, oh snap, I had my ultimate goal. I gotta give it some acknowledgement. But I also have to realize, isn't that funny? Something I put so much emphasis on, so much importance on. The closer I got, the more I kind of forgot about it. The more it felt unimportant and something bigger, and our brain's inability or our brain's ability to make us feel less than, or so much farther away from our goal, when really we just hit 5 of our ultimate goals, but we didn't even notice them happening because we set that next one. So take a second and look back. Look in your journey for a second. Look back. Did we hit some ultimate goals already? Did we hit some big achievements that you wanted? Did we cross some limits and boundaries that you didn't think you were capable of? And when that happened, did you recognize it? Did you even notice it happened? Did you let it happen? Did you let it go by and you've already thought of the next big thing you want to achieve? Recognize that. Recognize that. Don't let that be your life. Setting a goal, passing it, and setting another one without even realizing that you're doing that. Because you will always be waiting for the goal that you set, instead of noticing all the progress you've made and that you've been creating that fantasy in your real life on your way there. So there is here. How are you going to do that? That's up to you. It's a perspective shift. You need to sit down with yourself and be real. You need to look into your past and say, what limits have I broke? What possible limits are keeping me stuck? And have I been rushing through the cereal to get to the prize? Because you can exhale today. You can exhale today and say, I made it. Just this revelation alone is enough to make you exhale. Knowing that you'll never actually exhale is a good way to make you exhale. It's a good way to finally give you a second. If not now, when? If not now, when? Because I can tell you, years and years of waiting to be this person, waiting to wear this outfit, waiting to go on this vacation, waiting to show off to this person, waiting to prove this person wrong, waiting for all these accomplishments that I forgot I even had them because I'm always less than, I'm always a step behind. That's the way our brain works. You can outsmart that. You don't have to fall into that. You don't have to stop trying just because you keep getting beat up, just because you keep thinking that goal is farther and farther away. That goal is irrelevant sometimes. Doesn't mean everything you think it does. Just fighting for something. Just pulling out of that cycle. And you guys are you're capable of that. You're capable of that. So I really want you to reflect, and I want you to exhale tonight. That's what I want. All right. So I'm going to end this call. You're going to sit there for a second. You're going to take a big breath in, a big breath out, and you'll be like, cool. There's excitement, there's disappointment, there's overwhelm, but none of the good emotions will stay, and none of the bad emotions will get smaller until they can do those things in this moment now. Not when. Not there. All right, ladies?